years in high school. That's in the book.
Oh, the book too?
Yeah.
Aren't they great? Think back to 1913.
Is that right? It's on the National Geographic.
Wonderful
Yeah.
time to start
Yeah,
falling.
we're all the way back to July through December of
The whole
65.
wall fall.
Proud.
Yeah. Well, indirectly.
He knows the story.
Isn't that good?
Where you going, Blair? Why? So wave to the camera. Wave to the camera.
Why did you say no? Oh, I'm sorry. Here, wait a minute. Oh, sorry.
Bye.
Everybody asked me why I was doing that, and I had no personal reason. Sorry.
Oh, get out of the way. Hello. I'm just kind of taking in the house.
He's got the new machine.
Yeah. Yeah, you jerk, get out of the way.
That's the new machine.
This is where all the National Geographics are. Back to 1913.
On the 70s, you watched that?
Yeah, you can watch it in this thing. Hey? See, right here.
How's he doing? Cool. How's that work?
How does it work? The magic of electronics.
Last year, he was in Taiwan. Studying Taiwan. Now he's here in Arizona studying for his master's. And he may go
Here's
back to-
Grandma.
He does go
Here's
back.
Grandma.
He's going to be married. What is that? And Luke says he couldn't get by on the pay that we're giving him in this paper. He went over there from Phoenix with the understanding he'd work for 2 weeks. If they were satisfied with him,
It just turns to black.
and if not,
You know, that's kind of like the end of the day.
but he, they
Well,
were
it wasn't
satisfied
doesn't show on here, but I think it's already happened.
in quarters that had no window.
I mean, he traveled around a little bit. And he got these beautiful, we thought they were pretty nice women. And the next thing we see him, they're gone. And he traveled over a couple seas and a few oceans, and finally went across the whole damn continent to finally find the most beautiful, most wonderful, most special woman on the earth to actually propose to.
Wow.
And so I want to say, Elizabeth, thank you. You are a great addition to the Randall family. We couldn't do better. And Doug, we know can't. And to the Buckleys, welcome also as a link here.
Thank you.
To the Randall family. Hear ye.
Thank you. And if that was the speech about Doug, I can't wait to hear the one about me.
Well, she's been around a little. Sweet to see. And the guys went pretty quickly. And finally she settled on Doug. Doug's been a member of our family for about 6 months anyway. Actually, as her youngest brother,
I would like to say that I am exceedingly happy for my sister. I've never seen her happier, and I am extremely pleased for everything that's going on in her life, and I'm very happy to have Doug as a member of my family.
All right. Wow. Thank you.
Do you really know Doug?
Let me say that it was a damn good meeting you, Doug, and we gotta go.
David was very, very instrumental to our early, and Jean, you were there, you witnessed it.
Yes.
After I met Doug, and we went down to see, I saw him for a weekend in Mystic, and then right after that I said, you know, I happen to have a vacation coming up, and I really like sailing on Harvey's Gamage, and love to come down. They were in a place on the Chesapeake called St. Michael's, and David lives in Philly, and I called David and said, how do you get to St. Michael's? And he said, fine, easy, you take the train to Philly, and I'll fly you over. And so, David flew me in a little, was it a Piper Cub or
It was a Cessna. No, that was a Piper. It was a Cherokee.
And it was so great because I knew Jean was going to be on board, and this was still, I was playing it cool. This was more about being on board for a week and sailing and everything, but I knew that of course Doug was going to be there and that Jean was going to be on board. And the night I took the train to see David and Steph and spent the night there, and Doug called to tell me what the weather was and to check in and everything, and David and Steph were like, well, who was that? And I was like, oh, well, that was just a crew member. I was playing it really cool. We flew down and we buzzed over the plane, which was great. I mean, we were within probably 100 feet of the mast, and Jean was on board, and she saw that he was...
Isn't that illegal?
300.
You just get it. Yeah, you get that page.
500 at least. Closer to 1,000.
And it was very we were so far away.
I couldn't even see it. It looked like a goddamn rowboat.
Well, Doug has come a long way because, I mean, you know, the last time I lived in Boston, which was about 10 years ago, Doug was, I'm not sure what Doug was doing, but Doug had decided that he wanted to come to the East Coast, and he wanted to come to the East Coast and maybe live at our place for a little while. And decide what he wanted to do from there, but it had to do with sailing and maybe with the Boston whaler connection, maybe something could happen, and okay, so
I really wanted to just see you.
I can do that, and okay, so I know a guy in Rhode Island who can talk to somebody here, and I can do that, okay, fine, Doug, okay, good, okay, Doug, I think we got it together, Doug, okay, so you're coming out, fine, okay, Doug's going great, okay, we're coming, I'm going great, he's going to be here for 2 weeks, and we're going to go to Rhode Island, everything's going to be perfect, and then he calls back and he goes, how do I book an airline ticket?
You got more work here.
Caroline, talk to Doug. You've come a long way, Doug. I mean...
Can you tell me this is the family? Mom, this is the family. Right now. I'll never forget you couldn't book an airline ticket. It was incredible.
How do I do that?
I've got a few miles from
Well, I just have to say that my little speech, the first time I knew that Elizabeth was it, we were down in Mystic, and we went out that morning. What are you talking about? We were down in Mystic, and we wanted to go out for a place for brunch. And we walked all over the town, every restaurant we looked in, and it was like, that one's too small, or this one's too crowded, or this one was surrounded by bees, which was good. But, and we finally ended up walking all over through town, ended up right back by the boat again after, I don't know, an hour and a half of walking around, and had brunch at this little place right on the water, and everything was perfect, and we sat and read the paper and had a lovely brunch. And she had to go back to the boat to get something or other. And as she was walking back to the boat, I remember just watching her walk across the lawn, step by step, just walking along. And I just sat there and looked at her and said,
This is it.
that's her.
And it was amazing because I came back and he had such a look on his face, and I thought, you can work with me.
Was it the drool?
But I'd fallen in love with him the night before. When we had big garlic at the restaurant, and he knew, like, I don't know, he just knew what to do. That's all I can say. All right, that's enough.
And the equipment.
Yeah.